As we walk through life, we carry within us a priceless treasure, our untapped resources and limitless potential. Yet, from the moment we take our first breath, we're bombarded with the message that we're not enough, that something's missing. This belief seeps into our lives like a shadow, convincing us to chase after external things we think will make us whole, but only distract us from the truth. We get lost in the hustle, constantly looking outward, as if the answers are somewhere out there, and all the while, we ignore the incredible wealth already tucked away in the sanctuary of our own being. But real revelation? It happens when we stop and look inside. When we embrace the timeless wisdom that whispers, "You're already complete." It's in these moments that we realize our power, our wholeness, lies not in what we seek, but in what we already are. Life's purpose isn't about checking off boxes or chasing empty dreams. It's about growth, about shedding the invisible chains that keep our souls bound. Yet, in our everyday lives, we get tangled up in the illusion of time. Tick-tock, tick-tock, the clock never stops. The rush to get somewhere, to do something, to have more. It's a game that makes us feel like we're constantly running out of time, always trying to escape the present. We get trapped in the future, lost in what might be, or stuck in the past, regretting what's already gone. Caught in this cycle, we forget that life isn't about racing to an end. It's about breaking free from the maze of our own fears and stories. We find ourselves looping in repetitive patterns, trying to escape the pain we haven't healed. The real prison isn't the outside world. It's the one we build within ourselves. We get so tangled up in the chase, in the endless pursuit of something we think we need, that we forget the power of just being. That's when it's time to stop, to breathe, to pause for a moment and feel the fulfillment that's always there, within us. The world around us, much like the Matrix, pulls us in, telling us we must chase this dream or that. It reminds me of the old story of the donkey and the carrot, forever chasing, but never reaching. We're always rushing, whether it's to beat a red light or to cross off another task. We chase and chase, thinking we'll find meaning, but it always feels just out of reach. The purpose of life, this elusive force we're all after, isn't waiting for us in tomorrow's sunrise. It's here, now, buried in the present moment. But what is this essence we seek? What is reality, really? Is it physical, something we can touch and see? Or is it something deeper, something beyond words and concepts? Maybe it's not about finding answers, but about accepting the paradox, the mystery that reality holds. Reality is both here and not here. It's visible and hidden. It's a riddle, a paradox that invites us to dive in, not to solve, but to experience, to explore it with open hearts, beyond the confines of our limited human understanding. And in that exploration, we might just find what we've been chasing all along, ourselves. As we set out on this journey, we might find that the answers we're looking for aren't really hidden in the world around us. Whether it's something we can touch or something we can't see, they're somewhere in between, dancing in the balance. Reality, if we're being honest, is like a hidden gem, elusive, always there, just waiting for us to notice it. It doesn't show up in fireworks or grand events, though. Nope. It whispers to us in the quiet, everyday moments. The soft breeze, brushing past our cheek, a child's carefree laughter, or the warm sun kissing our skin. These simple things, they're like little hints, glimpses into the bigger picture, giving us a taste of the deeper beauty and power woven into the fabric of life. Life's true essence, it lives in the present, right here, right now. It's this exact moment that invites us to dive in and really experience what's going on, to stop and appreciate the life unfolding before us. But, sometimes we're so caught up in what's coming next that we forget to actually be here. We're busy chasing something down the road, but the magic's happening in the here and now. Each breath, every heartbeat, and every interaction is like a brushstroke adding color to the masterpiece of our lives. It's easy to get distracted though, right? We chase after material wealth, success, and everything society tells us we need to want. Our minds are constantly buzzing with noise, thoughts racing in circles, worries swirling around, the fear of what's to come. It's all a big storm in our heads, and it's a distraction. But if we just sit still for a moment, shut out the chaos, that's when we find the real deal. In the silence, there's a portal to what's real, to the true essence of being. That's where we find peace. In that stillness, we start to get a glimpse of who we really are, without all the layers of stuff we've piled on over the years. Who we really are, not what we've been told we are. From the day we're born, we're given a name and dropped into a world that shapes us. It molds us with beliefs, desires, and expectations. And suddenly we start believing that this version of ourselves, the one shaped by all that noise, is the real us. But it's not. It's just a story, a narrative we've gotten attached to. But it's not the truth of who we are. The spiritual journey? It's about shedding all that, about letting go of those stories we've been telling ourselves. It's a process of unlearning. And man, it's not always easy. That part of us, our ego, that's what holds all these stories together, and it fights to keep control. It wants to cling to what's familiar, even if it's not serving us. But it's only when we let go of that need to control the narrative that we start to discover who we really are, beyond the stories and the noise. And that's when the magic happens. The ego, man. It's like that overprotective parent, clinging to the illusion that if we let go of certain parts of who we think we are, we'll just crumble. It really believes that if we stop holding on so tightly, we're somehow putting our very survival on the line. But here's the kicker. If we want to move forward, we've got to disidentify with that ego. Yeah, I said it. We've got to free ourselves from its relentless grip. Over time, though, the ego kinda learns to chill out, and we find a way to live in harmony with it, instead of it ruling our lives like a stubborn dictator. This whole thing involves letting go of those stories we've been telling ourselves. You know, the ones where we're the hero of our own drama, or the victim of some cosmic joke. But here's the reality check. We're not defined by those old tales. We're not just the sum of our past, or the result of what other people told us we should be. No, we're life itself. This huge, infinite, and ever-expanding consciousness, as boundless as the stars. Right now, in this very moment, we've got the chance to put down the baggage we've been carrying around, all those worries, all those little fears that make us feel like we're drowning. They're just chains. And the moment we realize that, we can throw those shackles away. We start to see that nothing is wrong unless we make it so, unless we choose to believe that things aren't okay. That's when the magic happens. Suddenly, the present moment becomes the doorway to everything we've been looking for: perfection, peace, and harmony. Yeah, it's all right here, in the now. So, here's the thing. When we turn our attention inward, it's like stepping into a quiet sanctuary where we can just be. No rush, no pressure, just peace. But when we focus on everything outside, on what others think, what might happen next, or what we don't have, we're just inviting fear and anxiety to the party. And trust me, that's not the vibe we're going for. Now, the whole idea of self, it's like a dream, a story we've been telling ourselves over and over. A story our mind tries to weave together to make sense of this crazy thing we call life. But here's the twist. That dream, it's not just ours. It's shaped by everything we've experienced, everything society and culture have thrown at us. And it's all built on years of habit. We get so wrapped up in this story that we start believing we're separate from everything around us, when the truth is, we're all connected. That story, that self, It shows up in the way we talk, the way we feel, and how we react to life. But deep down, that's just the surface level. Our real self, it's not trapped in the story. It's beyond all that. It exists outside of time and space, far beyond these limits we've built for ourselves. Waking up from this dream of self is a journey into deep awareness, where we stop being the judge of every thought that pops into our head. Instead of reacting, we just watch, without attachment, without judgment. We start to see our thoughts for what they really are: temporary visitors, not permanent residents. They come, they go, and they don't define us. And guess what? These thoughts, they don't belong to just you. They come from this collective pool of consciousness, and they shape the reality we all live in together. When we realize that, we can start to step back, observe our thoughts like we're watching someone else, and slowly peel back the layers that make up the illusion of self. And in that moment, we start to experience true freedom. A freedom that's not bound by ego, not shackled by those stories we've been carrying around. It's the freedom to just be, to shine in our truest form, free from all the nonsense. As we dig deeper into self-awareness, we start to see that our thoughts aren't ours to control. They just flow, like a river that doesn't ask for permission to exist. The real trick is in letting go. When we let go of fear, anxiety, and that heavy cloak of depression, we see the truth. Those thoughts are just illusions. They're made up by our mind, just like actors on a stage playing their part. But when we take a step back and just watch, without attaching any labels or judgments, we see them for what they are: energy, forces of nature, nothing more, nothing less. The human condition? Oh boy, it's like this tangled mess of constant want, isn't it? We're always yearning for something more, better, different. Like an endless hunger that can never quite be satisfied. It's as if we're all on this unceasing hunt for the next big thing, the next challenge, the next adventure, the next shiny victory. We think this is what'll finally fill us up. But when we get it, it's just more of the same. And off we go again, chasing something else. We're stuck in this loop, like a hamster on a wheel, always spinning, but never getting anywhere. We've been tricked into thinking that peace is something out there, just beyond our reach. We've been led to believe that if we just change the world around us, or somehow fix ourselves, then we'll find it. But here's the truth. The root of all that frustration, all that discontent, doesn't live out there. It lives inside us. It's not the world that's the problem. It's the way we see it. It's the endless attachments, the desires, the need to have more, be more. So, what if I told you that the real journey to peace and fulfillment doesn't start with changing anything around you? Nope, it starts by looking within. Yep, deep inside. When we stop trying to fix the world and start unpicking the layers of our own conditioned desires, that's when the real magic happens. That's when freedom starts to bloom, quietly and steadily. Here's the trick. Start taking little breaks. Just pause. Take a deep breath. No, really, breathe. And feel yourself come back to center. Notice the moment. Just be here, right now. Forget about chasing anything for a minute. You'll realize that there's no final destination to reach, no finish line you need to cross. The journey? It's not out there. It's within. It always was. By reconnecting with your core, you tap into that pure, innocent being we all have inside us, the kind of essence kids have before they get caught up in the rat race. They don't worry about what's next. They just are. And we've got that, too. We just need to remember it. So, take this with you. Peace is inside you right now. No matter where you're from, no matter what you believe, it's there. The world might be spinning with chaos, but you don't have to let it knock you off balance. You can find a stillness that transcends all that noise. Thanks for taking this little journey with me. If this message resonated with you, hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it. Let's spread the peace. Drop a comment, too. I'd love to hear your thoughts, reflections, and experiences. Take care, my friend, and I'll see you soon.